this going? Oh my God, there's cables everywhere. We're back on the Indy Lite. It's a mess. Like everything else, it's a mess. But what we're gonna do is we've got to fix that broken motor mount. The motor's ready to go in. Got a few other things jammed together. And yeah, things are ready to rock here. Got to get this beast going. And we're all gonna do it together. Like a big happy snowmobiling family. That's the way we roll. I cleaned that area up kind of okay. So let's hope I did it enough. The fuel tank is empty. I've purged it with water to make sure that there's nothing explosive or flammable around here. Remember that I'm not a mechanic, not a licensed mechanic. Any other disclaimers?
You're not a welder.
I'm not a welder.
Unless popcorn qualifies.
Yeah, I can do popcorn welds. I probably shouldn't be doing any of this. I shouldn't be here. Oops, my ground's off. But the way I look at it is, if you look at this, take a look at this. No matter what quality of weld I put on it, there's going to be better than Robertson screws. You Americans probably don't know what those are because I don't know if you have them in the United States of America. But they're Robertson screws and they're not meant for holding engines on snowmobiles. Should I just weld the screws? Let me see. Oh, that's a hardened bolt. Can you give me a little more heat? That's a lot of heat. A little more line speed. Yeah, less heat, less line speed. What's that at? About 4 for 4.5? Because it's the tin that's giving right now. I mean, I'm pretty sure Polaris didn't put that motor mount on with Robertson headed screws. I don't know. Hope that bolt's in the right place. One-handed. Good enough. I did all that with my feet. Okay. One of these, one of those. I decided to put the oiling back on, the oil injection system, just because I would have to, I looked into it, yes, I would have to have an oiler bottle just to keep the water pump, or not the water pump, but the oil pump gear and all that jazz lubed inside there. I don't want to deal with that, so forget it. Forget it. There you go. Oh, solid. Look at that. Remember it before? Bling, blong, bling, blong, bling. Well, I mean, it's a little loose right now because things, no. Come on, give me a break. Work with me, folks. So now I get to put the motor. Some guys are saying, I don't like when he says motor. He calls it a motor. It's not a motor, it's an engine. My brother was over, I was showing him my jet engine, and I called it a motor, my jet motor. He didn't like that. It's not a motor, which incidentally we are going to get fired up very soon because we got to get that baby in action. Jet engine has to roll. Now, I wanted to have this running today, but we do have a slight issue, and the issue being the clutch. What is it I'm missing? My clutch puller.
Clutch pullers in the truck.
Yeah. That's right. So my truck is at the shop being serviced, and my clutch puller, because my other clutch was toast. I got another clutch off another fella, or actually the whole motor, spare engine. It's awesome. There we go. This is going to make a big difference. This engine being solid, big time. Not that hard to do. I don't know why they would have done that. Left it loose like that. It's not good. When you put that in, you start rocking that motor and she's moving. It's not a good thing. Don't do it. Oh, nice. Bingos. Now, a few other things. A lot of sleds have issues. You know, they're not sucking fuel, or they're bogging, or maybe they run a little lean, something's going down. You got to check your inline or your pickup filter. This one's a little different on this beast. Check this out, Jamie. It's got this little screen element.
Focus.
See that?
There it is.
Yeah, so it's got this little screen element. So nothing big is going to get through there, but smaller particulate, of course, or you know, those little particles are going to get through there. These hoses, sometimes these will crack. This one, so if I screw that into the sled, look how that's sort of, well, it depends on how I screw it in, I guess. This is the tank fitting here. So what happens if it goes in and it's like that? It's not good. What happens if it's good? It's no good either. So what we need to do is,
Some of them are actually weighted, aren't they?
some of them, well, some guys put a nut on them to weight them down, so they just sort of sit on the bottom. Usually these weigh enough so that they'll just sort of flop to the bottom anyway. But most of the time you got to use a type of hose that stays flexible. I just do one of those, and usually that'll pop that off. One of those. Those, but this line is no good. Definitely not your foot end. Oh yeah, that's gonna do it. I'll give it something like that right there. So it's got to go in the tank, down and flop onto the bottom. One of those. This is Tygon fuel line. It stays relatively soft. Pretty soft, in fact. It doesn't harden up like some of this stuff does, or that really clear. Where's that clear one go? I hucked it over at you, Jamie. I kicked it.
You threw it over that way.
I kicked it and I said, you.
There by the box.
Yeah. Or this stuff here, like that's that stuff that the service shop puts on just to get it out of the shop, so you have to go back the next year and put all new lines on it. It's just stupid. Get out of my face, line. Service shops that do stupid things. Don't like that. There, nice. I'm just gonna put some clamps on those and then we'll insert that into the tank. I'm gonna go old school here a little bit. Can't find my little line clips, or what do you call those things? What do you, hose clamps, that's it. So we're going old school. Bing, one of those. One of those. There. Gotta do what you gotta do, you know? You don't always need to go out and buy a clamp. Or as Jamie calls them, a hose clamp. Just not impressed. Not with you, Jamie. I'm talking about the weather. The weather's not impressing me. I'm not over tightening that. Just enough. But quite often, you know, I'll take a sled apart and I'll see this kind of a little fix right there. This one's going to be a little tighter though, because it's got to go through a tiny little hole. There. New pickup. Looks awesome. I don't know if you're going to be able to see that, Jimmy. Jimmy crack corn. Can I get that through there with that little thing on it? I need to squish that down more. No, I got it. Yeah. Sweet Caroline. So I'm going to put this tape on here. It's compatible with the fuels. And it is a plastic tank, but the threads get pretty beat up over the years of this thing coming in and out. Not that that's ever been done, who knows, maybe it's never seen a service. I don't know, I just don't know. Oh, there you go. One of those. Want to hear it run today, Jamie? Can we hear it run today? Right on. Get rid of that. Got such a mess in here. Get off my face. Get my face. Nailed that. So I couldn't find the fuel pump that I took off this to rebuild. Bought the kit and everything. So this one's gonna have to do. That's just the way that is. Because when you're dealing with the bog, there's all kinds of things. You gotta go through everything, right? You gotta go into your fuel tank, the fuel system all the way through, make sure everything is good to go. I know that fuel pump is good to go because it's pretty much brand spanking new. I'm gonna put this 2-stroke oil in here. Let it start purging through the system. Now the old bottle that was on here, the guy, when he was trying to make room for the battery, you can see he cut some stuff out here. Instead of buying the right battery, maybe took it out of his lawnmower, not quite sure. He ground, or he used the grinder and it whizzed a hole in the tank. So, you know, how many bottles of this stuff do you put in before you figure out that it's leaking? Depends on who you are, I guess. There's a lot of oil.
It's summer or winter time.
Yeah, there's a lot of oil in it. So, all over the sled. Oh, it just blew at the bottom of the tank. So what we'll do is, since that whole oil system has more or less been drained, we're gonna put this oil in, 2 bottles, 2 liters that tank holds. We're gonna put this in and then pre-mix the gas at 50-1 for the first tank, and then I'll make sure that this level is actually going down. And that way we know that the oil injection system is actually working. Hard to see that oil in there, right? Have to mix that with some ugly colored stuff. All right, so this wire here looks like it goes to a battery, which it does. Must be for some super duper something the guy had. I can't put the exhaust in until I get this stuff done, which should be all last. I gotta do my carbs next, and that's gonna be a new video. So there, we're coming. Things are coming along. This will be running as soon as we take these carbs out. I'm just gonna go through them really quickly. I did clean them as soon as I got the sled last year, but I still wanted to pull them apart, make sure that it didn't suck up any old nastiness. You know how that is, boys. Thanks for tuning in as usual. There's still a little bit of snow at the property. Hopefully we get this thing running and go for a brap. All right, so I need a 12 mil. I gotta pop those off.